Progress doesn't happen overnight. Nutrafol, best-selling hair growth supplement brand, targets key root causes of thinning hair. You get visibly thicker, stronger hair in 3 to 6 months. I'm recommending that Dylan, maybe he does this. Todd, are you interested in this?
I don't know. I've kind of got used to my hair kind of the way it is, but it's something that I will take under advisement, meaning the wife.
Okay. Paulie, what about you?
I could use a little tidy up front. The runways are a little loose. The back half is fine. The runways are a little sparse.
Skip the shortcuts. Marvin, I'll ask you, are you interested in some hair?
Nah, I'm going to keep the milk dud I got going on right now.
Okay, the milk dud. I like that. Visit Nutrafoil.com, Nutrafoil.com. Use the code Dan Patrick. Man who is bald, Reggie Miller, joining us on the program. When did you go bald?
Why didn't you ask me? Maybe it's time.
Did you choose baldness?
I chose it. If I didn't cut my hair, it would grow in. It wouldn't be great. I couldn't get a fro or anything, but I could use a little, could I get a little mullet or a little mohawk going a little bit?
But if Jordan didn't shave his head, like it became cool once Mike did it, right?
And then everyone started to do it. Anything Mike did, everyone's, be like Mike. Everyone wanted to be like Mike.
Reggie Miller, full introduction. He was on the call for the Warriors-Clippers last night. Snoop Dogg joining you there in the second half. I thought he did a good job.
So cool.
I thought it was fun.
He did a great job. He was well prepared. He did his homework. He came in all the coaches' meetings. He did pregame interviews. I think you guys saw with Stephen Curry. He just wasn't showing up to be a pretty face. He put in the work, and the game helped because it was a great game. It was a one-possession game. Last-second opportunity for Jimmy Butler. Steph had fouled out, and it was a game that the Clippers obviously continued to need it because they got off to that rough start, 6-21, but have won 7 of 8. So he did his job.
Steve Kerr had some comments. I don't know if it was this past week or last week where he's kind of saying, hey, trying to win championships each year, that's not going to happen anymore. And I'm paraphrasing here, but it felt like there was backlash from the Golden State fans who were like, wait a minute. Kind of sounds like you're surrendering that you don't have a championship caliber team. Was he being correct in what he was saying?
Well, currently constructed, he's correct. They don't have a championship team. They're just missing something. And I think why the fan base is upset. They're like, wait a minute. We just traded to get Jimmy Butler. Wasn't that supposed to be one of those missing pieces to help us get back to the championship mountain? And when I look at the Warriors, and I just hope they're not wasting these last 2, 3, 4 years for Stephen Curry, because he can still, at a high level, get you to the promised land. They just need players. And I equate it to this. You need certain players for 16 games, and you need players for 82 games. Yeah. And Jimmy Butler, Stephen Curry, Draymond Green are 16-game players. Get me to the playoffs, and then we'll take over. It's the grind is what's the problem for the Golden State Warriors. They don't have enough scoring for 82 games. Stephen Curry can't do it like he used to do it with Klay Thompson when they were younger. So the margin of error is very small. And I think the fan base is upset because you've got a young player like Jonathan Kuminga, who's just sitting there collecting $22 million, who was supposed to be one of those players for 82 games, and he's not delivering.
Man, his name comes up all the time in trade talks. For the last, it feels like 2 years at least. Why don't they trade him?
I think they're exploring their options. I would be surprised if he is a Warrior past the trade deadline, because again, I think Golden State has to make another trade for a player just to come off the bench and get you buckets, to give Steph and Jimmy Butler some breathing room because there's no way they're going to make it to the finish line in the Western Conference. This would bode well if they were in the Eastern Conference because there's really only 2, maybe 3 teams playing at that high of a level, but not in the Western Conference. You'll tax them too much.
Are you all in on the Clippers now? All of a sudden, are the Clippers formidable?
Yes. The problem, a lot like with Golden State, we saw last night, they're the 2 oldest teams. Yeah. And they don't run a lot, and they rely a lot on their half-court offense, which has been great lately, but more importantly, their defense has stepped up. When they were last year, what made them great was their defense. And I think over the last 8 ball games, they have the best defense in the league. Now, I know it's a small sample size, but they've won 7 of 8, and it's because of their defense. Can they continue to play like that? We'll see. What helps is Kawhi's healthy and playing, and you see the numbers. But is he going to go through one of those stints where he plays one game, doesn't play? Right now, he has to play. Harden didn't play last night because of shoulder stiffness. But again, their margin of error, it's very small because those guys can't take nights off because there's not enough scoring on the back end of their roster.
Talking to Reggie Miller, he was on the call last night, the Warriors and the Clippers. Steve Kerr getting thrown out of that game. Yeah. Steve's not having a good year.
Well, and why do you say that?
It just seems like he's frustrated. The Draymond Green stuff, they're not, they're a little better than average. I don't know. Maybe he's really coaching harder than he's ever had to coach. Used to be easy when you just said, go out there and have some fun and shoot some threes, guys.
Again, that's why it's the beauty. When you've been to the mountaintop like Steve has been as a player, he's won 5 chips, 4 times as a coach with the Warriors. I think at times you can become complacent. And I think he's trying to show his fan base as well as his team, if you want to continue to be great, there's sacrifices that have to be made. And there's tough choices that have to be said. And the butting of head with Draymond Green, you would be surprised that happens all the time. I mean, you're a family, and as long as those guys have been together and all the wars that they've been through, I kind of give them a long leash because I think they're allowed to kind of speak to one another that way because there's history there. And I just hope it never comes to a head because Draymond Green is the perfect player for this team because without him, I mean, he leads this team in assists, point forward. The problem has been his offense because teams are just daring him to shoot. And if you watched the game last night, to start the game, he had 3 or 4 wide open threes. He makes 2 or 3 of those. The Warriors are almost running away with this game because the momentum would have been on their side. But
welcome to Warriors Nation News. We sink into one of the most intriguing and under-the-radar trade stories ahead of the 2026 NBA deadline. The possibility that the Golden State Warriors could make a bold front-court addition by targeting Bobby Portis of the Milwaukee Bucks. With the February 5th trade deadline rapidly approaching, rumors have intensified around Portis drawing interest from the Warriors, the Charlotte Hornets, and even the Phoenix Suns, according to NBA insider Brett Siegel. This isn't just idle chatter. This is real trade speculation that could shape Golden State's path in the second half of the season as they chase playoff positioning and evaluate roster upgrades. Let's start with who Bobby Portis is and why his name matters. Portis is a veteran big man with playoff experience and a well-rounded game that includes solid scoring, rebounding, and floor spacing. This season with the Bucks, he's averaged 13.2 points and 6.5 rebounds per game, while shooting nearly 47% from three-point range, elite marks for a front-court player, and exactly the kind of shooting the Warriors covet in spaces that help Steph Curry and the rest of the offense breathe. Milwaukee's situation is key to understanding why Portis could be available. The Bucks have faced inconsistency this season and are reportedly trying to upgrade around Giannis Antetokounmpo to convince him that Milwaukee remains a viable championship home. Portis, while valuable, could become a movable piece if the Bucks pivot toward acquiring a larger star or retooling their roster. That means Golden State could pounce on a buy low opportunity if the asking price becomes reasonable. Now, Warriors fans know that Golden State's biggest needs right now extend beyond just scoring. The Dubs have had stretches where interior defense, size, and rebounding have been glaring weaknesses, and reliable spacing from the big man spot has been inconsistent. Portis would bring physicality, shooting gravity, and veteran playoff toughness, all ingredients that would pair well with the core of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler. His ability to step out and hit threes at a high clip would open driving lanes for Curry and Butler, and his toughness on the boards would help in battles against elite front lines in the West. It's worth remembering that this interest isn't brand new. Reports from previous trade windows indicated that Golden State has had interest in Portis before and may have even attempted to include him in sign-and-trade scenarios involving Jonathan Kuminga. Those talks reportedly fell apart because Milwaukee wasn't willing to send Portis back at the time. But with the landscape shifting now that the deadline looms, the dynamics could be very different. And let's talk fit. Warriors head coach Steve Kerr has always valued versatility and shooting, and Portis fits the mold of a big who can stretch the floor and defend multiple spots. At 30 years old, he's mature, seasoned, and capable of stepping into a significant role without the developmental growing pains that some younger players might require. For a team that's trying to maximize every single possession, especially in tight playoff races, acquiring a player who can hit jumpers, crash the glass, and protect the paint would be a massive upgrade without necessarily sacrificing movement or spacing. Portis' shooting splits this season, nearly 50% from the field and 47% from deep, are not just numbers, they are impact stats. They speak to a player who can be immediately reliable in crunch time, something Warriors fans have longed to see beyond their stars. You plug that kind of productivity into a lineup with Curry, and you fundamentally change how defenses have to respect the Warriors' offense. But will it actually happen? That's the million-dollar question. Multiple teams are monitoring Portis' situation, and the Bucks may not move him unless it serves a larger strategy to upgrade around Giannis or balance their roster financially. Portland, Charlotte, Phoenix, and even the Lakers have all been mentioned in connection to Portis in various trade whisper segments. This is a deep, interconnected trade ecosystem, and what appears unlikely today could become feasible tomorrow as teams jockey for position. From the Warriors' perspective, they haven't been shy about exploring upgrades, whether it's wings like Trey Murphy III or scoring forwards like Michael Porter Jr. The front office has shown it's willing to be proactive rather than passive. If Portis represents a strategic piece that fills the gap between perimeter shooting and interior strength, all while maintaining the shooting identity Golden State cherishes, then trading for him could be a smart, competitive move. Unlike trades that require massive upheaval or star swaps, Portis could be acquired via a creative multi-team deal that doesn't cripple the Warriors' future. For example, scenarios being discussed involve the Warriors receiving Portis and another scoring piece, while sending less critical rotation players and draft capital to balance salaries and fit team needs across leagues. Again, this is the kind of nuanced strategy Golden State has used before when chasing big-picture improvements. In conclusion, while nothing is guaranteed until the deadline passes and the call is made, the potential of the Warriors adding Bobby Portis is exciting for Golden State fans. A versatile, proven big man who can stretch the floor, battle on the glass, and bring veteran fight to a title-caliber lineup is exactly the kind of addition that could shift the balance in the West. In a tightly contested season where every play and every addition matters, Portis might not be a blockbuster name, but he certainly could be a blockbuster fit. Now, we want to hear from you, Warriors Nation. Would you want Bobby Portis in a Warriors uniform? Do you think he helps this team's championship odds? Drop your opinion in the comments below. Hit that like button if you're fired up about this trade possibility, and make sure you're subscribed for the latest news, analysis, and trade deadline reactions right here on Warriors Nation News. Let's go!